Herzlich willkommen auf der NAB 2018 mit Film- und TV-Kamera und Altruist Films. Wir sind an der Fujifilm Booth mit Marc Horner und wir hören mal, was es so Neues gibt.
And of course, the first question is, Marc Horner, what is new here at Fujifilm?
Okay, well, our new product that we're looking to showcase here is our 46x portable ENG lens. Our range of UA 4K lenses has been growing over the years. We launched 3 new lenses last year, 2 of which were here and then 1 at IBC. So this lens, because it's a 46x zoom, it fits that kind of middle area where people do need a very long zoom lens that's also portable. For example, helicopter shooting. We work with a lot of helicopter gimbal companies, or people where you've got quite small stadiums, maybe like basketball, which is obviously very relevant in this country. Where someone down on the court side needs a good long range, but still needs to be able to be portable and move around. So it's a lens that's taken us a little while to develop. Most of our other lenses, our other 4K lenses, have sort of some other salvaged parts from previous HD lenses. This lens, the requirements were very, very vast, and we've not been able to do that. We've had to design it literally from the ground up in every way, shape and form. It's a completely unrecognisable lens to our HD 42x. But as a result, we're very confident that it's going to be very, very popular, a very good lens.
Can you give us some more specifications of the lens?
Yeah, so there'll be two flavours. The wide one is 46x 9.5 millimeters, as opposed to 9.7, which our previous HD one was. And then we've got a slightly longer one that's 13.5 at the wide end. It's roughly the same size, physical size, as the previous one. Again, the main reason for that is the helicopter gimbal companies. They can't change all their equipment, so we've tried to keep it, tried to maintain it. It is a little bit heavier as a result. Again, we've tried to minimise that as much as possible, but we don't want to compromise the actual image quality. It has a completely new designed drive unit, which is faster, more responsive, and hopefully should be more affordable as a result, because we've been able to design it again specifically for this.
And right now we're looking at the prototype. When will the lens be available actually?
So the wide version we're hoping to ship around the end of this year. The slightly longer version we are also hoping the end of this year, but we think it's possible that it might fall into the beginning of next year, so 2019.
Do you already have a price?
We don't really have a price yet, no, I'm afraid. We hope to, throughout this year, we're looking at releasing more information, more detailed specifications, and the pricing will be included in that.
What's new on the booth next to the other things?
Okay, we've got some MK, obviously our MK lenses now is 1 year since they were launched here at NAB 2017. We have this third-party products. The lenses have been very popular. So things like drive units by Crizil and Hedon, we have those here on display. And there's also third-party mounts to allow them to be used on Micro Four Thirds and also FZ. We're showing them all off here, and again, they've been very, very popular. We've had Philip Bloom doing a talk, who's always draws a good crowd, and it's very, very popular, good lenses.
Is there anything specific planned in the 4K area in the next few months, or how will Fujinon develop in this direction?
We're always, again, as I said, with the UA range of lenses, we now have the widest range of 4K lenses for TV broadcast, and we're always looking at broadening that as much as possible. And obviously you go for the lenses that are mostly in demand. The biggest demand for 4K at the moment is sports, so the sports market is pretty much driving the switch to 4K. But we also know a lot of people are starting to future-proof. A lens can last 10 or 15 years, so even if they haven't got the 4K cameras yet, they're starting to look at the 4K lenses. And we can see in our own sales that the percentage of people buying 4K lenses compared to HD is increasing nicely. We're always keen to just make sure that we offer what our customers want, basically.
Is there a large production company or a TV station that has recently acquired lots of those parts?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously things like rental houses, again, with sports and people like ES Broadcast, they've invested a lot. BBC Studio Works have just kitted out TC1 in Television Centre in London, and they've done it as a full 4K system with cameras, IP, 4K HDR. In fact, it's ready to go. They've not done any productions in 4K HDR yet, but there's 22 of our UA lenses waiting to be put to their test.
I think you mentioned earlier in our talk before that you have some news about the MK series and some of the mounts that will be available with it or that are available already. Maybe you can get us in the loop. What's new there?
Well, as I mentioned before, there's the Micro Four Thirds and the FZ as third party. One thing that's very good is we've just launched an X-mount version of it, which is basically for Fujifilm's native digital cameras. And the real biggest advantage of the X-mount version as opposed to the E-mount is that they have electronic contacts. And what that means is the camera can know what the focal length of the lens is, and what that means is the in-body image stabilization on the XH1 will automatically detect when the focal lengths change and automatically adjust the stabilization. Whereas if you were using a GH5 or a Sony camera, it still works, the image-based stabilization, but you obviously need to tell the camera that you've switched the focal length. So I think that could make for some quite interesting uses. We're thinking things like drones and stuff like that. It could make quite an interesting setup, but it's a brand new camera that's only been launched in the last month or so, and those lenses aren't quite on sale yet, but they should be here sort of next month.
Any secrets you want to share? This is the time.
Any secrets? I value my job, unfortunately, but obviously, we're always looking at what's the next thing we're developing. We're always looking at trying to. The biggest, most important thing is listening to customer feedback and understanding what they want, whether it's DOPs, filmmakers, independent, whether it's TV broadcast. So, there's lots of developments going on, but there's no more that we can share at this stage, I'm afraid.
Yeah. There's still the question coming often about 4K or 8K or the probability of 16K as well to you if you've got something in the draw.
We're working on 8K with Ikigami and Sony, and there's I think even here at NAB I believe there's one of our 8K lenses knocking about somewhere. We're very confident that we're very confident in the quality of the glass, and the resolution of 8K is not something that massively troubles us. I mean, our cinema glass, we've lens tested them ourselves, and we're pretty confident that 10K is no problem, even with an expander to give it onto a full frame sensor. And obviously the same goes for the TV broadcast glass, but we know that there will be a demand at some point. We know what Japan in particular, they're driving for the am I allowed to say the summer games? I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say names of particular events, but they want to broadcast a lot of that in 8K. So we've been working very, very sort of hard with those guys to try and make sure that they can deliver it.
Thank you so much, Marc Horner, and I think that's it from the Fujifilm booth here at NAB Show 2018, together with Film and TV Camera and Altruist Films.